Hello, collective, and welcome back. Today, I am joined in the studio with my sister, Lynn.
Hey guys.
So, this is a continuation of the series that we're working on for Mother's Day. And the last episode, we spoke with Ash and we discussed her journey with losing her daughter. And this time, we'll be speaking with Lynn and Lynn's experience with losing our mother. Lynn's situation is unique because she was also our mother's caregiver. So she kind of experienced grief along the way. And because she was the one that was there every day, I thought it would be important to hear her story and then just give Lynn a space to process and to share some of her experiences and what she's experienced. So, welcome, Lynn. Welcome to the collective.
Thank you.
I'm so happy to have you here.
I am happy to be here.
Are you really?
I am.
Okay. All right. So, let's get started. I want to hop right in. How would you describe your relationship with your mother?
Say that when I had my son and as I grew older, it progressed from a mother-daughter only relationship to like a really good friendship. So I think me having kids and me growing up and being able to kind of understand her as a mother made our relationship different. It made us friends because I could relate to her on the level that I couldn't before.
Yeah, that's good. That's really good. So, children kind of allowed um allowed
Me
y'all
to
to
give her
grow.
some grace. Right, and for me to give her some grace.
Right, absolutely. Yeah, that's huge. That's huge. So what do you think made your bond with her unique? Like, why do you think that?
Honestly, I think it was just because I was there,
Mhm.
because I was just there all of the time.
Okay. Hmm.
And I think that's what it was. It was just that I was always there. I was always around her.
Okay. And what do you think that she leaned on you for the most? Like, if you have to think about her and even like, cause she had a very long journey with breast cancer and illness. Some people kind of give back to their life. I don't think that
Right.
she ever returned back to where she was
She
before
wasn't.
breast cancer.
She didn't because mommy was a worker, she worked. I
Mhm.
think her not being able to work is what hurt her the most. So for me, I think it just kinda I think it was just more support, than anything that she knew that, doctor's appointments, chemotherapy, that I was gonna always be there, you know what I'm saying? She
Yeah.
knew that, as far as her medical stuff, I knew it all. I made sure she was taking her medicine, doing what she needed to do. I couldn't get her to stop smoking cigarettes because that just wasn't gonna happen. But pretty much, like, I just knew everything and to death, and I think it was maybe just because I handle everything for her, you know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? To a
Mhm.
certain degree.
Mhm. Mhm. What do you think what's one thing about the 2 of you that you think people on the outside looking in wouldn't necessarily understand?
I don't really know because I think people think that she favored me,
Mhm.
but I don't really think that she favored me. I always felt like it was my brother because she always wanted him there, but
Mhm.
I was just always there. I think I just took that responsibility on just because you wasn't here, you was in a different state.
Mhm.
No, Sean was doing her own thing. Nate was doing his own thing. Even though she
Mhm.
wanted him there, he wasn't gonna be there the way
Mhm.
I did. So I feel like I just kind of jumped in and took that role on. So I think maybe people thought that I was being like I know her friends felt like I was a little too pushy and I felt like I was her mother, acting
Mhm.
as her mother. But for me, it was just that I was taking care of her. I was making sure she was okay. And maybe I did overstep sometimes, but it is what
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah, I don't think that you overstepped, but that's my perspective. I think that maybe I don't think you overstepped. I think you did what had to be done. At what point did you realize, because you just kind of touched on this, at what point do you realize that you were no longer just her daughter, but that you were also her caregiver? And like you said, the roles kind of switched. Like you
Mhm.
became, even though her mother was still alive, and I do believe that grandmother would have been willing to do everything
She
that you
absolutely
did.
was, but I feel like I did it so she didn't have to.
Right.
'Cause she was already taking care of Uncle Ronnie to some extent. Uncle Ronnie was
Mhm.
living with her a lot of times, and
Mhm.
she had just already cared for a dying child, and I kinda think in my heart, I didn't want her to have to care for another dying child. you know?
Oh, wow. Oh, that's good. 'Cause I don't think I ever heard you frame it that way.
Yeah, because I mean, she already had her oldest child died. She cared for her oldest child until she died. Her and Uncle Ronnie was really close. She cared
Right,
for him a lot.
right.
And, before his daughter stepped in, she cared for him a lot. And I just feel like I didn't want, I couldn't imagine burying one daughter and then have to be, even though it was a lot of years later, but still, that's still her mother.
Yeah, yeah. Grandmother, she did experience a lot of loss. Like,
She
if you think
did.
about it, like, with her
She did.
husband's 3 children, right? 3 children and
Yeah.
her oldest grandchild
And
before
her
she
who was
died,
like
and
her
her
child.
parents. Yeah, her older
Right.
brother. She did experience a lot of loss
Right.
in her life. Wow, and this is it's interesting because then on the contrast, mommy experienced losses, but not the loss of a child to the degree
Right.
the grandmother did. Do you know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like,
Mhm.
that's interesting too. How did well, I don't know how to ask this question. I don't wanna trigger you.
I'm fine.
What did you have to give up? Like, what was the cost for you emotionally, personally, and physically in order to take on the lead role as a caregiver?
I don't think I realized that at the time that I was giving up so much, you know what I'm saying? Because I had a son who had ADHD, and I kind of feel like not even consciously doing it, I kind of put him on a back burner to care for her. Like, I realized that
Oh,
after she passed away, like, I just wasn't present for him like I needed to be, and I didn't realize it at the time, but in hindsight, I definitely dropped the ball on my
wow.
son. Yeah.
Wow. I think it's easy to do though. Like, I think it's
Yeah.
particularly when you get like tunnel vision. Have you had
Right.
that conversation with Tyler? Like, have you discussed that with
I
him?
discussed it with him, but then on the other side, he was grieving because mommy was like
Mhm.
a mother to him as well, like,
Mhm.
they were
Yeah.
very, very close.
Mhm.
So I didn't recognize the signs of his grief as much because I was, like, actively
Also
grieving.
grieving.
Yeah,
Yeah.
actively, yep,
Wow. Wow. So it was in that instance, it was like both of y'all were grieving, but not together, like
but not
separately.
together. Yep.
Wow. Wow. Did you ever struggle with guilt, like feeling like you should have done more?
I never struggle with that. That's one thing I never struggle with at all. I never feel guilty. I never feel like I coulda done more because I feel like I did the best that I could.
Mhm.
So, thankfully, that's one thing that I never struggle with. I never struggle with feeling like I could do more because I feel like I did a lot, you know what I'm saying? Like, what more could I have done?
Yeah. Yeah. Do you do you do you regret like not pushing her more to like do because there was a period where she didn't wanna do chemo anymore, and
Right.
do you regret not pushing? Because she lived, like, a year after remember they said
Almost
she
2
was, like,
years.
terminal
Yep,
do you
almost
regret
2 years.
do you think that if she had decided to do chemo the last time it came back, it woulda made a difference?
I definitely feel like it did. I definitely feel like it would've. I feel like and this is probably just me being hopeful that she coulda beat it again,
Mhm.
but, I have to think, like, I don't know her struggle. I was there with her, but I wasn't her in that
Right,
situation going through what she
right,
went through.
right.
Me thinking, like, if she get it again, I was like, because after she did chemotherapy the first time, she was like, "I would never do this again." And I was
Right,
like, "Girl, yes, you would. If it come time to it again, you would do it again." And she
right.
didn't.
Yeah,
And she didn't. We had the conversation with her, me and you, about doing it, trying to convince her to do it for the grandkids, for us, but
yeah, yeah.
she just wouldn't do it.
Yeah, I do you think that I feel like I know the answer to this question, but I just wanna ask it. Do you think that it's changed the way that you would handle your own health, like, in the event something like that were to happen to you?
Absolutely, because I had conversations with her when she first diagnosed and she had her first mastectomy, and the doctor told her that you need to have a double mastectomy because it's gonna
Mhm.
come back in the other breast, and she just would not do it, and I'm sitting up there like, "Girl, you can get a whole new set of boobs, you can
Yeah,
have all new boobs sitting." I mean, she just would not do it, and
yeah.
I to this day don't understand that.
Yeah, yeah, but you were very good at respecting her wishes. Like you had a way of speaking to her, where you were able to kind of give your perspective and then also respect hers. You had a way of speaking to her in a way that she understood.
Think I did it that way simply because I always thought that what if I convinced her to do something that was worse for her than what I
Mhm.
wanted it to be? You know what I'm saying? Because only she know what she went through, and apparently chemotherapy was the worst thing that she ever experienced in her life, and she was very adamant in never doing it again.
Wow. Wow. So, what do you think you needed during that season, that very because it was like 8 years off and on. But what do you think that you needed in that season that you did not receive? Like, do you think that mommy was appreciative of you kind of
I definitely feel like she was appreciative. What I needed was help from Sean and Nate, honestly,
Mhm.
because they
Mhm.
were there, and I don't feel like they did what they should have done. And
Mhm.
maybe that's why Sean was felt the grief that she felt and, why her situation progressed, because I feel like that was a part of her death. And maybe that's why Nate angry now, you know what I'm saying? Because maybe they don't feel like they did what they should have done, but I just needed a break because I was working, taking care of mommy and trying to take care of Tyler in my house at the same time.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. But do you think that, like, the same grace you afford her, do you think that perhaps because everybody is not built the same, right? Some
And
people
I
just
and I know
cannot
that.
deal with stuff like that. So do you
Yeah.
think that particularly, I think that do you think that for Sean, she just couldn't deal with it? Because we know that just throughout her coping skills were just not there. Like, do you think that
Yeah.
she just could not deal with that? And then she had her own stuff to work through too.
I mean, I guess. Yeah, I guess. But in that moment, I didn't feel that way. In that
Yeah.
moment, I was stressed out. And, I'm not going to say that she didn't ever come over there because she did try to help. But,
Mhm.
what she did wasn't really helpful for me. And maybe that was a part of me taking over, you know what I'm saying? And just trying to do things my way. So maybe I
Mm.
should have stepped back and just let her do what she was doing
Mhm.
instead of trying to get her to do it my way.
Do you think that you actually began to grieve before she passed away? Like, was there a period where you thought, "This is it," and
It did. What made me actually finally sit back and sit in it that she was not gonna be here,
Mhm.
'cause I was at her house one day and she had lost a lot of weight,
Mhm.
and she just looked at me and she was like, "This cancer is just eating me up. It's just eating me up." What she said to me, so
Mhm.
I feel like that's when I started processing it, and she just started sleeping more, and she wouldn't eat, and she would just sleep for hours and just not eat at all.
Mhm.
So I feel like that's what made it real for me.
How long was this before she actually went into the hospital?
Honestly, it was like 2 weeks. It wasn't far away from when I finally convinced her to go to hospice.
Mm, yeah. 'Cause I remember when I came home. Do you remember it was like, it was October 19th. I'll never forget it because I had a hearing, a custody hearing. And they had canceled it. Do you remember that? And
I
I was
remember.
like, "This is how was I how to this was crazy." And I remember we had a conversation when you were taking me back to the airport because I had spent time with her. I remember we went to Melt. Is that restaurant still there? Is Melt still there?
No, that restaurant is gone. No,
But
it's
we
gone. Thank you.
we had gone there. I didn't get a chance. Well, I went back to the hospital, but she was asleep and I didn't wanna wake her up. So we just left and y'all took me to the airport and I was like, I don't think Imma be get back to see her. I think that this is because she looked so good. You remember? She looked so
Yeah.
good. Too good. She looked better than she had looked throughout the end. Like, literally, if you look back at the picture of her 50th birthday party, which was right after she found out she had cancer, she looked like that. She looked like she
Yeah.
did on that she looked so good, like, almost like it had never happened.
She
You know
looked
what I'm
good
saying?
literally up until the
Her
very
skin
end.
was good. She
Yeah,
looked
she looked good up until the
good.
very end.
She did, she looked great, and I was like, I think this is it. I think this is the last time I'm gonna see her here." And you was like, "I
Mhm.
think you're right. I think you, may be right."
It was a reason for you to come home. It was
Yeah,
a
for
reason for you to
sure.
be there.
For sure, for sure. After having spent so much time caring for her, what was the silence like once she was no longer there?
Honestly, this is the wildest part, like, it felt good, like, I wasn't stressed out anymore.
Yeah.
Like, I wasn't it wasn't so much like, I could sleep better, like, I slept a
Mhm.
little better. Matter of fact, I know you remember this when they called and told me that she wasn't, like, I instantly went back to sleep. Like, I instantly went back as soon as they called me, like, "You need to come up here because she's not responding." Did I
Mhm.
call you and you
You
was like, "That
did.
the she passed
You
away,
called
they can't tell you that?" And
Yeah,
I
you
was
called
like,
me. Yeah.
"Alright, I'm about to go back to sleep."
Mhm.
And they
Yep.
had to call me again, but that was, like, the most peaceful sleep that I had gotten in years.
Mhm.
But it's probably because I knew she wasn't in pain no more.
Right. And you didn't have that like, you know how you're waiting for something what you were waiting for to
Right,
happen has already happened. It's like
right,
holding your breath, and then you finally
right,
get to breathe again. Yeah.
right.
So, what do you think that mommy poured into you that still shows up in your life today?
Honestly, it's strength because you don't ever really like she was probably the strongest person that I had ever known in my life because she overcame every single obstacle that was put
Every
in her
single
way.
one.
Every single obstacle that was ever put in her way, and I thank God that she gave me that because, like, I may be upset about something, but Imma figure it out because she
Yeah,
taught us how to figure it out.
she did.
You know what I'm saying?
She
She
was an
definitely made us
example.
strong. Yeah, she was. She
Yeah.
was definitely very strong. She was probably the strongest her and Aunt Shorty were the strongest people I've ever met in my life.
Yeah, I would have to agree. I think Willa Mae was too. I think that Willa
Yeah,
Mae
she
was the
was.
original overcomer. I think
She
Willa Mae
was.
and I think that she modeled that strength for mommy, and that's
Right.
where, mommy modeled it for us.
Yeah.
Like, in what ways do you hear your voice in your decisions, like, in your strength or your spirit? I know I always say sometimes when I'm talking to my kids, I feel like,
Mhm.
"Oh my god, I know my mother must have said this to me before."
Right.
Like, when I'm like, "I'm not one of your little friends," right?
Yeah. I
I feel
feel her,
like, do you hear
especially
her?
I don't really hear her, but I feel her a lot. Like, I definitely know she's still around. I definitely know she's still here with us. Cause remember when
Mhm.
I had a hysterectomy and I told you the date and I didn't
Yeah.
even realize it, but it was literally the date that my mother passed away 3 years later. So she always around, but I feel her more like when I'm cooking, cause I drink my wine and turn on
Yeah,
my Anita Baker and Luther Vandross, or it's just like it'll
yes.
be something really simple that'll happen, and I'm like, "That ain't nothing but Diane McIntyre. That ain't nothing but
Yes,
her."
yes. Yeah.
And then, like,
Wow.
probably a year after she passed away, like, I would literally see dimes everywhere. Like, I would be sweeping dimes up off my kitchen floor, I would be
Why
walking through a park.
dimes?
I don't know, but the girl that do my nails is, like, really spiritual, so I told her, I'm like, "Why am I seeing all of these dimes?" And she was like, "Dimes are like things from heaven, people in heaven letting you know that they thinking about you."
Wow.
I would literally be sweeping them up off my floor, like, where are every time I looked, it was a
It
dime,
was a
like,
dime.
dimes everywhere, yes.
Wow. I love that. I love that. Like, if you had to think about the lessons, like, what was your biggest I know we said that she modeled strength for you, but, like, when
Mhm.
you think about life lessons, like, what lesson from her do you carry, like, the most close? Like, what did she teach you that stayed with you? That you just
Honestly, how to be a woman and how to carry myself as a woman and with respect, cause she
Mhm.
was all about like, you never seen her outside the house not looking good. You know what I'm
Correct.
saying? She dressed good, she smelled
Correct.
good, my nails always done just like her. Just how to carry myself as a woman, you know what I'm saying? How
Mhm.
to present myself. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's just one of the big things for me, just how to carry myself and how to present myself as a woman.
Mhm. Do you think that she ever really opened up to you, like, emotionally, like, what it was like for her? Because she lost her father and her sister very close together, and
Mhm.
she was the second daughter of a second daughter. I don't know if
Yeah.
our great-grandmother was a second daughter, but mommy was
Mhm.
for sure the second daughter of a second daughter who became the oldest daughter. And who I always tell people that I'm a very different woman from my mother because I was born in a different time, and she's a
Mhm.
very different woman from grandmother because grandmother was born in the Jim Crow South, like, they was
Right.
born and raised they didn't get to finish school, I think
Right.
grandmother had a 5th grade education, if 5th
Yeah.
grade.
And
She
look
was
at all she
cleaning houses.
accomplished.
And
Yeah,
look how much she accomplished, but then when you look at the background to where grandmother was growing up, and then the background to where mommy was growing up, it was very different because
it
mommy was
was.
born here, and it was the 50s and the 60s, and Black people were building and buying homes and working
Right,
these manufacturing jobs and moving into middle class. So her experience was very different from I
right,
think mommy grew up with it was all about empowerment. It was all
right,
about whereas with grandmother, it was about oppression and just putting
right,
your head down and doing what you had to do to survive, right? So did
right.
she ever talk to you, like, about the differences
She
in
never
how
she
I
was
know that
never very open even about her childhood, honestly.
Mhm,
'Cause
mhm.
I don't think she's ever told me a story about her childhood.
Mm,
Has she ever told you one? I can't recall one. Not as but grandma, I don't know anything about grandma's childhood, like, she just never really I mean, aside from the fact that her father passed away and that he used to drink a little bit or a lot, I don't really know, but I don't really know about it because she didn't really open up. She did kinda like it would be sometimes where she would say stuff, but it was never her really getting just too deep in it, you know what I'm
right,
saying?
right. Because she was also a very I don't wanna say she was emotionalist because I don't think that was the case. I just don't think she saw a lot of benefit in being emotional. Because
I
what is
think
that
she
gonna do?
wasn't gonna ever be vulnerable like that.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah,
think
she
she
didn't
was
see the
ever going
benefit.
to be. Right, I don't think she was ever going to be.
Yeah, I
Not
know
even that she didn't see the benefit, I just think it would probably hurt her more to
mhm.
talk about some people just don't talk about stuff because of the pain behind it.
Well, grandmother told me that it wouldn't help. She was like, I don't see how it would help to know,
Mhm,
what I went through." Grandmother just said life was hard for me. Life
mhm,
was hard for me, and that nobody really cared about her or her siblings but her grandmother. She said, we had to care about each other." That's what grandmother told me.
mhm.
So I think that they were very no nonsense and very, like, almost, like, just not there. They were not there emotionally. They didn't know how to be, and I think they didn't see the benefit of it. They did not see
That was me with Tyler definitely growing up as well, because I don't think I was as emotional to him as I should have been.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow, and that's a trauma response,
it
and
is.
it's probably a
It is.
generational one that's
It
kind of
is.
it's a trauma response. Wow, wow. So those are all of the questions. Oh, I do have another one. I have a few more.
Okay.
So if you could speak to mommy today, what would you say?
I will honestly just tell her thank you. Just thank you for everything that she did. She wasn't perfect. You know what I'm saying? She wasn't perfect at all. She had her flaws, but I definitely feel I can even say it with me and you. She definitely raised us to have dignity, to have respect, to not let anybody talk crazy to us or disrespect us. And she honestly taught me how to make shit happen.
Right,
You know what I'm saying? She definitely taught me how to like you don't sit in nothing and
right,
just stay in nothing. You get
right.
yourself out of it and you make it happen.
Even if it's not the right way to do it.
Even if it's not the right way to do it, honestly. But she
True.
never just sat back and didn't d you know what I'm saying? Never.
Yeah,
She was a hustler, honestly.
yeah,
She was.
yeah. Absolutely, she was. She was a hustler,
Mhm.
and she was able to make a lot with a little.
With a little, and
And
help
even
other
though
people along the way.
That's what I was just about to say. Even though she didn't have a lot, she was raising her kids and her grandkids and their friends too, because,
Mhm.
we had people, our friends come, which always marveled me. But I'll talk about that more when I'm sharing my story. But you are a grandmother now. So when you
Yeah.
see I know that, like, my youngest son never had an opportunity to meet my mother, but I told you he
Right.
loved the old black and white Tom and Jerry, and that just
Mhm.
blew me away because but
'Cause she
mommy used to
loved
love
it,
that.
yep,
And I'm like, "They don't even talk on this show." Arian would be
and laughing.
hysterical watching it. And I'm like, "That is my mother." Like, when
Right.
you see your grandbaby, when you see Avery, does she do or say things that remind you of mommy? I can think of some things.
What?
She loved Mickey Mouse and Minnie Mouse, and mommy
She do love
loved
Minnie
Mickey
Mouse.
Mouse.
She do
Mommy
love Minnie
loved
Mouse.
Mickey
She do
Mouse.
love Minnie Mouse. She do. I think mommy woulda loved her. She definitely woulda loved her. She woulda loved her some
She was
Avery.
partial to boys, though. She loved them
Yeah, she
boys.
was. She
She
did.
loved them
She
boys.
absolutely did. But she never wanted daughters, so that makes sense.
She didn't want daughters?
No.
I didn't know that. I never
Yes,
knew
she
Wow.
never wanted that's why Nate was the prodigal son.
Are you serious? I never knew she didn't want
Yes.
daughters.
She did not want daughters.
Why? Did she ever tell you why?
I don't know.
She told you she never wanted daughters?
She told me that she did not want daughters. I said, "That's
Girl,
why you ended up with 3."
with 3. Wow. So what does Mother's Day have a different meaning for you now?
I'd never liked to celebrate it with my mother, even though I'm a mother, like, it just felt weird for me to not be able to celebrate her, you know what I'm saying? So it's always been hard for me, like, I don't really care for Mother's Day. Like,
Really? I don't
I
think I
don't
knew
really
that,
care
Lynn.
for it. Yeah, I don't really care for it,
Even though you are a mother and now you're a
even though I am a
grandmother?
mother and now a grandmother. It's just I don't know. It just feel weird to me. But maybe I should try to do something to celebrate her on Mother's Day as well, to
Absolutely,
bring it back to
absolutely,
me, 'cause
absolutely.
it's another day to me, which is sad.
That's very sad,
It
Lynn. That's
is.
so sad. Oh my god. You should honor honored her, because it's because
Yeah,
of her that you are a mother, and then now you are a
grandmother.
grandmother, and
Yeah,
we just spoke about all of the things that she instilled and that she left with you, and I think that she will want to be remembered, but it's your day also. Like, it's
I think
your
so
day.
too.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
your
I
day.
am. I have it's personal with me because my mother not here, you know what I'm saying? So why should I
Yeah.
but,
So you don't allow Tyler to celebrate you because your mother isn't
I
here?
think he knows that it's a hurtful thing to me, so he doesn't.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think she would like that though, and I challenge you to change that narrative so
Yeah,
that, can celebrate that day and for
right,
yourself and then also honor her in the process. I think that would
right.
fantastic. So, I have one final question and then we'll end it. I have a question and then a comment. So, what is the most important thing her life left in you? Like we've spoken about the strength, we've spoken about the hustle. Like, what is the most important?
I think the most important thing that her life left with me is to live because I don't think that she ever really got to live because she was 58 when she passed away. She struggled with breast cancer for 8 years. She took care of everybody, kids, her grandkids, everybody around her. So I think it's just to live. You know what I'm saying? To not, first of all, to take my health very seriously because if that anything ever happens to me, I'm gonna be on the first operating table getting
Yes,
these breasts removed and getting a whole
yes.
new set.
We
And
met
I'm
we
just
promised each other that. We
yeah,
promised each
just to
other.
live and just to travel. Like, I wanna travel,
Mm,
which is stuff that she always wanted to do.
mhm.
Like, I've never been on a cruise, and I know she always wanted to go on a cruise, so I'm just gonna have
She
to,
did go
because
on a
I've never
cruise. She
with
went on
who?
a cruise. She went to the on a one of those family reunion cruises to the Bahamas. I have a picture.
Okay.
Remember, I have a picture.
I
She
didn't
but she
remember
didn't
that.
start to travel really until she
She
got sick.
didn't until
Until
she
she
got
was
sick.
yeah, until
Yep,
it was until she
yep, and I don't wanna do that, like, I wanna travel now.
yeah, so
So
you
just to
wanna
get out
live.
there, I wanna live, yeah, just to live.
She was in survival mode for so much of her
For
life.
so much of her
Yeah,
life, literally
she
to
was
the
gonna
end,
survive. To the very end, she
to
was
the
in
very
survival mode.
end.
Yeah, I think that that was her way of just giving just saying that was her way of taking control, like, "I'm not gonna do this anymore. I'm going
Right.
to just,"
Do what I wanna do,
so
yeah.
yeah, yeah. So and that's power, and I think that that was her choice, it was her life, it was her right to do
It
that,
was, and that's
even if
why I
it didn't feel
couldn't,
fair to us.
even if it didn't feel fair to us.
Okay. Well, thank you, Lynn. Thank you
You're
for sharing your
welcome.
story. Thank you for saying yes. Thank you for being vulnerable. And if I've never told you this before, I do appreciate everything that you did to help
Thank
mommy. I
you. I know
appreciate the
you did.
sacrifices that you made for her. And I think that that's where your blessings come from because it was very unselfish. I know you feel like you weren't there for Tyler, but I think that
Yeah.
what you did was very unselfish. It was very
Thank you.
sacrificial for you to put your life on hold to care for her. And I think
Thank
that
you.
that's where your blessings will come from. So thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me. Happy
Of
Mother's Day,
course.
everybody.
Of course. Okay, collective, that is it. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. And I'm going to put some resources for people who are struggling with loss I'm gonna do that after the end of every episode because I believe in therapy. I think that therapy is the best money that we could ever spend or support, whether you call it therapy, life coaching, or whatever. So I'll put those resources here. But thank you, everyone, and I will see you soon.